Alright, everybody. Welcome back to the finals of the Mega Video Game Tournament here at the Pokemon TCG State Championships in Long Beach, California, right next to Compton. This is Dwee on the mic. Joining me will be PBB, Thomas Mifflin.
Hey, everybody.
Like I said, straight out of Compton. We just saw Dwayne play earlier. We got Z-Wing Sharks, Dwayne Camacho playing against Dwee Hui, part of my clan. So we know Paul's team. We know Dwayne's team. Sorry, Dwayne's team is the Parish Trap team with Azumarill, Politoed, Scrafty, Gengar, Amoonguss, and Gothitelle versus the slightly unorthodox team of Hui with Charizard, Amoonguss, Mineshow, Aegislash, Azumarill, and Aerodactyl, and it's Charizard X. So what do you think, Thomas? What do you think is going to happen in this battle?
Hui's main goal this entire series is to stop Perish Song. And if Mineshow has Taunt, I don't recall from the other matches, if it has Taunt or Fake Out, he might be able to delay that and get some damage off early.
You think it's in Hui's benefit to get that Charizard truck rolling? 100 miles per hour, no brakes.
The ignition's got to be turned on, and he's got to floor it.
Dwayne leading off with the Gengar and Scrafty, and Hui leading off with Aegislash and Charizard. One thing that we have to remember: ghosts are immune to Shadow Tag.
That's true. They changed that. So that's a good play on Hui's part here, bringing the ghost as the lead.
You'll be seeing a lot of that sword during this match. Both players trying to decide now what to do. Who do you think has this advantage right now?
Well, before the switch, I would have said Hui, but with Aerodactyl switching, that's a good move on his part, since he was probably going to be fake outed anyway. Might as well save Charizard for later.
Right. Aerodactyl replacing the Charizard, and Scrafty faking out the Aerodactyl, not very effective. And Gengar with a Shadow Ball. That's super effective.
That's going to deal serious damage.
But again, in defense form, does a fair amount of damage, and then now he's gonna get ready to attack with a Shadow Ball onto
Gengar. This will probably KO. Oh!
Probably trained to survive that. Survives with 1 HP.
No Focus Sash on Gengar, yet he lives with 1 HP. Crucial.
Very big. Aerodactyl, I believe they both speed tie 130, right?
After the Mega, I'm not sure about Gengar's speed.
I believe Gengar hits 130.
Okay. Then they would,
Speed
if
tie.
running top speed, they'd speed tie.
Okay. Yeah, confirming with the audience right now that they are actually equal. Scrafty opting to protect himself with his turn. As Aegislash will
Going
go
for the
into
Shadow
form.
Sneak?
Shield
King
form.
Shield.
King Shield. Protecting itself this turn from any damage possibly. Aerodactyl fires off the Rock Slide and gets knocked out on the Gengar. So clutch.
In all honesty, it shouldn't have survived in the first place, but with the Rock Slide, Hui didn't really care about that 1 HP left.
I believe you won the speed tie there.
He did.
Right. So Gengar's out. Shadow Tag user number 1 is gone. Who do you think's got the advantage now?
Hui definitely has the advantage here. Aerodactyl can easily Skydrop Scrafty, and if Paul switches in Azumarill, as you see right there, the Aegislash will probably hopefully able to deal some damage while Azumarill Perish Songs.
You know, who you might be thinking right now, he's got to stop that Perish Song. He might actually just Skydrop the Azumarill. I'd like to see that.
That could definitely be a possibility. Oh, but he goes for the switch, probably to save the Ghost type for later.
Right. I'd say that Ghost type for those, for the Shadow Tags. Switching in his own Azumarill, and Rock Slide comes out onto Scrafty and Azumarill. Negligible damage on both sides. And Scrafty uses the Crunch on Azumarill with that new Fairy type, and not very effective.
Not very effective. And it would have targeted against Aegislash, so he saves it for later. Good turn. Good turn by Hui.
Right, and we get a little bit of luck there with the Azumarill dodge on the muddy water and hitting the Aerodactyl only 50%, a little less than 50%.
That's a little underwhelming, but huge power with Azumarill only boosts his attack and not special attack, so there's more damage to be had for sure.
Right. Now we gotta find a way. He's gotta find a way. I mean, how's he gonna break this?
He's got to start killing stuff.
Right. Scrafty opting to protect himself, doesn't want to take anything, and there you go. Sky drop into the sky.
There we go. To prevent Perish Song. And oh, the crowd
Free
just
belly
got
drum.
quiet. And he probably has citrus.
Yeah, hate to see that, a free belly drum.
So Hui's in a very good spot here. He has a +6, and he most likely has Agua Jet.
Hui's team has a lot of options to set up. Sky drop up, belly drum down.
Depending on how Hui EV'd his Azumarill, it might outspeed the other one, in which case he could easily double target it with Sky Drop and whatever move it has and then KO it.
Right, Paul going for a double protect.
But he opts not to. That's an interesting play.
He did double protect, but it failed. Zumo protects this turn as well.
Azumarill is gonna muddy water.
That's gonna be a knockout on Aerodactyl.
It'll be definitely close.
Ooh,
he
survives.
just barely survives.
Hangs on with just a sliver of health. Right now it's pretty back to the wall for Paul. Still hasn't gone on the Perish Song yet.
No, he's opted to stay away from it for now to put himself in a better position.
And even then, Hui has not revealed. He probably has Charizard in that.
Probably, I would think so.
Right, and he still has Aegis Slashing back as well. Scratch protecting itself from the.
Oh, this will knock it out
Yeah,
easily.
that's easy. That's gravy.
That
is gravy. Hui is currently up 4-2. Hui is currently up 4-2. Paul right now telling his younger sister to not watch the battle, as Dwayne's team is getting slightly demolished.
he's just getting taken apart bit by bit. And once Hui got belly drum off, it was only a matter of time, honestly, before the damage started getting rolled out, and Paul's looking to hopefully bounce back in match 2.
Yeah, Paul's got to definitely find ways to adjust right now. I mean, he's down 4-2. It's going to be difficult for him to come back during this battle. Still trying to protect. Still trying to get some things going.
Oh, with the play rough miss.
Scrappy dodged that play rough. How do you think Paul can adjust during the second game? I mean,
it's going to be hard unless he has a little bit of luck on his side. The play rough missing helped, but he wasn't able to take advantage of that and at least do some chip damage to get Aerodactyl out.
Right. How do you think Paul can adjust during the second game? Because it looks like Paul right now is just stalling for time during this game.
Yeah. Paul is just filibustering at this point.
Alright, so we fired off rock slides to make a cocktail flinch. Detective's actually running out of PP. I've never seen that before.
Depending on how many PP ups he's used, he might be even out already. If he's used it 4 times, this could be the last time.
Right now, it's all just playing through the animations right now. Paul having a little fun. Dwayne having a little fun.
It would be hilarious if this flinched Gothitelle a second time. Oh, okay, there we go. Heel pulse, that's an interesting move.
Onto Azumarill. And right now,
at this point, they're just messing around.
Paul knows his back is against the wall. Detect finally fails, and Aerodactyl decides to sky drop Gothitelle into the sky as Azumarill targets Scrafty's play rough quadruple.
Scrafty has no chance of living.
Absolutely not.
Most likely not even through the fairy resist berry if there is one.
So there you have it. One Pokemon left for Hui to knock out to officially win this battle. Paul, how do you think Paul should look to adjust his strategy in the upcoming game?
Well, I think part of it was his lack of his strategy, right? He has a Perish Song team, and that's his goal, and he wasn't able to set it up near the beginning of the match. So I think that's going to be crucial at some point to actually execute his Perish Song strategy from the get-go.
Right. Kui winning that in dominating fashion, 4-0.
Ouch, 4-0. That.
I mean, do you see anything that Paul can do to adjust? Like, maybe try to get up a parasong or something like that?
He's got to stick to his strategy. That's all he can do at this point. Once he
Right.
gets at least one parasong up, then he has a chance to finagle, and he's got some wiggle room. But if he doesn't get it up early, it's going to be really tough, and we might see another match just like the one we just witnessed.
Right. The problem with a lot of parasong teams is that, you know, if you can't get your strategy going, you don't have enough offense to back it up. So here we are again, back in team preview. We got, again, Azumarill, Politoed, Scrafty, Gothitelle, Gengar, and Amoonguss versus Charizard, Amoonguss, Mineshow, Aegislash, Azumarill, and Aerodactyl. Aegislash has been paying dividends. Both players, of course, are over there just having fun right now. What? Aegislash and Amoonguss sent out on Hui's side. Gengar and Amoonguss on Paul's side. If you haven't noticed, Hui's Pokemon are all nicknamed after Three Ninjas characters.
I did not notice that. That's actually really awesome.
Have you seen Three Ninjas a long time ago?
It's a long time ago.
But yeah, his nicknames are all based on that. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, nicknames are something that we all miss.
And at this local tournament, you can actually see your opponent's nicknames. Usually in normal VGC tournaments, they operate with special software, and so they block the nicknames just to keep everyone on the same field.
Right. It helps the people who don't know too much about Pokemon to make sure they know their names, like me. Fennekin is actually Delphox from earlier in the first round.
I'm glad you learned your lesson.
I did learn my lesson. Aegislash going into attack form. Amoonguss firing off spores. Gengar protected itself this turn. Charizard comes in, and Aegislash is now asleep. Aegislash taking a nap. It's been a long day for everybody.
Yeah. And Amoonguss getting started early with Spore. Paul's not wasting any time.
Right. How do you think Paul's adjusted so far? I think he's done pretty well.
He's done a decent job. Granted, it's only the first turn, so we'll need to see if he can execute Perish Song this turn or the latest next one.
Right. I definitely like Amoonguss out there to spore things. Definitely slows Hui's strategy down a bit.
Definitely. Uh-oh, the truck's getting ready to pull out of the station.
Charizard X making his appearance, and what's it called? Aegislash getting into its defense form, and Gengar finally gets out the Perish Trap.
There we go. That's going to be Paul's key to winning, is executing his strategy as soon as he possibly can. Flare Bits will KO Gengar.
So much damage. That's a truck without brakes. Flare Blitz coming out onto the Gengar, getting the pretty much good, strong knockout, and Amoonguss sporing the Charizard. So
this is good for Paul, and bad for Hui, though.
Right.
Hui pretty much has 3 turns to do something to kill Gothitelle.
Remember though,
Ghost types can't switch out of Shadow Tag.
Ghost types can switch out of Shadow Tag, which is beneficial on Hui's part for bringing Aegislash.
That'll give a boost to Aegislash, but Charizard will have a tough time of it.
Just keep it there. We don't know whose DS is at. We'll find out whose it is. Aegislash finally switching out, resetting the Perish Song counter into Aerodactyl. Unnerve prevents berries from being able to be activated this turn, which is pretty cool. Pretty interesting ability. And the Reflect comes up from Gothitelle to raise the defenses. And Amoonguss fires off another Spore onto Aerodactyl, so both Pokemon are asleep right now.
Paul calls his switch. He called Hui's bluff. He knew he was going to switch out. He's like, I'm going to Spore him and get the switch in. One strategy that at some point I'd like to see usage is Unnerve Aerodactyl with Smeargle and Dark Void, so that the Unnerve prevents Chesto and Lumberries from being used, and then obviously Dark Void, you sleep them. Maybe at some point, maybe the Nationals winners will use it.
Polito comes in. That is another
Politoed.
Perish Song user for Paul. Brings out the rain, trying to reduce the damage output of Flare Blitz a bit.
He's trying to stop the truck,
No, well,
known as Charizard X.
Have you ever seen a truck on a slippery road?
It just is out of control.
It's reckless.
Yeah.
It is reckless.
You don't know where it's going to go. And in this case, you don't know who Charizard's going to damage.
So right now, both Pokemon still asleep on Hui's side of the field. He needs to wake up. He needs to get moving. He needs to stop Perish Song from going up. So again, Polito got until out. Polito's gonna be the Perish Song user if Paul does decide to set up another Perish Song.
Which I think he will. There's really no other logical choice. Both his opponents are asleep. But I'm at a loss. Why you would do that? Why you double? I guess to eliminate Charizard.
Charizard will get knocked out this turn. But that kind of just gives Aerodactyl a free turn to wake up.
I guess it gives Aerodactyl a turn to try and wake up. It probably doesn't matter too much.
Well, if Aerodactyl wakes up next turn and is able to Sky Drop the Politoed, that is going to be huge.
That's true. Although we haven't seen Politoed being used before in any of Paul's matches, so I mean I doubt it's Scarf, but
Right, Paul might actually be out of his comfort zone using Politoed. I haven't seen him use it all day.
Yeah.
Sleeping Aegislash comes out, so both Pokemon still on Hui side getting nap.
Oh, okay.
Gothitelle deciding to switch out right now, sending in a Mungus over Gothitelle, breaking the lock a little bit. Politoed going for the stall.
On Aerodactyl. Great
Focus
move.
Sash.
No. Oh, yeah, it is Focus Sash.
Focus Sash. That is cool.
I'm cautious now of saying Focus Sash because Gengar survived with 1 HP at last time, so.
Sword stays asleep. Aegislash stays asleep. And, oh boy, this is rough. This is rough. Back to the wall. Hui has his back to the wall. Both Pokemon asleep. He still has one Pokemon back, but
That's true. But
2 on 3 is hard with Perish Song.
not to mention that both of his Pokemon are completely asleep. They're just not even paying attention.
Right. Polito decides to protect this turn. And both Pokemon on the other side wake up. So that's pretty good
That's
on
a
Hui's part.
good turn for Hui right there.
Right.
He'll actually be able to get a chance to do some damage for once.
Right. Paul being upset right now that the eject button actually activated.
The one time it actually activates today.
The one time it activated, Paul does not want it to activate it. What do you think? What do you think is going to go on right now? What do you think is going to happen? What's the strategy right here?
Paul's strategy's got to be to kill the Aerodactyl and then Perish Song for the win, and then stall out as much as he can. Though Hui might recognize this and counter him. It'll depend. They'll be playing mind games for sure.
I'd like to see a Sky Drop.
I would
I'd
love
like
to see a Sky Drop.
again.
Sky Drop Politoed, and then Aegislash can Shadow Ball or set up a substitute.
Right now, I mean, I'd say Sky Drop Politoed and Shadow Ball the Cuptail. Super effective damage from Sword. It's still going to do a massive amount. Politoed decides to switch out this turn.
To Amoonguss.
Amoonguss, right.
Oh, that could play really well into Hui's hands if he does Sky Drop. Which he does.
Sky
And he
dropping
takes
the
Amoonguss.
Gothitelle using Sky Beam? Psybeam?
And then Shadow Ball will do a decent amount, probably around half. Oh, wow, that did a ton.
That did about 60?
70-ish
70%?
percent, yeah.
I can't do math.
You were biology, it's okay.
Yeah, I was a bio student, guys. I'm fine. So here we have it. Gothitelle on the edge of its, about to be knocked out, and Amoonguss up in the sky right now with Aerodactyl. It'd be nice if we actually double targeted Amoonguss this turn.
That would be a good call on his part.
Right. Oh,
Which he doesn't.
Go
He goes.
for it.
And Giga Drain will restore 1 HP from Aerodactyl.
Giga Drain.
You gotta get every hit point you can, you know?
Yep, 1 hit point can make a difference. And Unnerve breaking from the field to have a Citrus Berry activate, that's pretty good too.
That's right. It was sitting on the field for a while.
Right, so now it all really comes down to what Hui's last Pokemon is, and that is a Moongus. Wow, what do you think?
Interesting. Gothitelle, I don't recall if it has Psychic or not, but
It has Psybeam.
Psybeam, okay, or Psyshock or whatever it is.
No, I believe it was Psybeam.
It actually is Psybeam.
I believe he used Psybeam.
That's awesome. So, since you never see this happen, Aegislash will actually move first among all the ones in the field, most likely.
Right, he definitely needs to take care of that Amoonguss.
It's a Perish sign in real life. They are taking a long time to choose their moves. They're thinking about this carefully. This is a pivotal turn.
Right, what would you do in this situation? Who's the bigger threat? Who's the bigger
I
threat?
personally would kill Gothitelle. And then do something with Amoonguss. But if Amoonguss Rage Powders, it's negligible anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Remember, Paul does have Heal Pulse.
That's true, so he could recover.
Right.
I don't know how fast Gothitelle is off the top of my head.
It's one of those Pokemon that you just don't really know.
You just don't really know anything.
It's in one of the middling speeds.
Okay, so maybe it is faster.
Right. Polito comes out to replace Amoonguss for the Drizzle, and it is now raining again. Gothitelle going for another Protect, and protects itself for this turn. Politoed avoided the attack. I believe we have a bright powdered Politoed out on the field right now.
Yeah.
Paul, is that bright powder? That is bright powdered Politoed out on the field.
No matter what happens, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Bright,
I've never seen
I
that
love
before.
bright powder.
Switching out again, and Politoed gets off the Perish Song. 3 turns. This battle will be over in 3 turns. Aegislash, of course, going off, getting off another Shadow Ball, and starting to score everything it can. So Politoed will go for a nap. Everyone is actually pretty shocked about Bright Powder.
Yeah, you never see it, really.
That was actually huge.
Except on things like, you know,
Garchomp.
Garchomp
back
with
in the day.
Sandville,
Back
yeah.
in the day, yeah. Dang. That was a huge miss, though. I mean, that probably would have 2-hit KO'd Politoed.
Yeah, easily.
And Amoonguss protecting himself this turn. Let's see if he was able to hit it properly. Just the Giga Drain onto the Politoed does a good amount of damage. So 2 turns. I think right now Paul just has to stall it out, and he can take it. And Gothitelle comes in. Does he hit it with a Shadow Ball? That'd be great.
Just showing off the power of bright powder.
And yep, I think that's Paul's game. 1 turn to kill 2 Pokemon, but with Protect,
And
that's it.
And since neither of the Pokemon have Faint on the other side, Paul should protect. And the forfeit match.
I believe Paul has just forfeited.
And Paul forfeited.
Paul ran. So there you have it. Huiha, first tournament win in a very long time, takes the Mega Video Game Tournament here at the Pokemon TCG State Championships in Long Beach, California, right next to Compton. I guess someone want to come over here and talk? Alright, so we're gonna have someone come over here. PBB, it's been a pleasure having you on the mic with me.
Dwee, it's been great. I'm glad that I could be here and help you commentate.
Dude, it's great that you
It's
came in
been
to help.
real,
Otherwise,
yeah.
I'd just be talking to myself.
My pleasure.
Alright, PBB out.
PvP